everyone, my name is Asterisk, and today I'm going to be your guide to terrifying world.
I must let you know.
One has to understand the difference between American horror and German horror. American horror kind of dives more into the classic slasher films, you know, a bunch of horny teenagers go off to a cabin in the woods and we're just anticipating the killer's whistle by one series of only to have control. Then we have Japanese horror, which finds a way to work its way around everyday occurrences and manifest itself in a way where ordinary objects and mundane tasks can become more fun. Psychologically, something to punch you when you're alone at night, alone in the dark, or even on the there's something about Japanese horror that sticks out. Now, this list in particular is what makes it important to me is that I'm only going to be counting down my top 5 finished series. For those of you who already know who Junie is and have read or may have heard of the story of the series that told me, I am excluding that from my list for the one reason that I haven't finished it. I'm sorry, it's really hard to come across the entire series. But then again, season 2 be soon. So let's go ahead and get into this. My top 5. First one, my top 5 favorite Junie films. Wow, finding itself something it does start off a little slow, but it gradually starts to go from incredibly terrifying to silly and finally just what the fuck. And I feel like that's a recurring issue of Junie's work. He finds a way to come up with these original concepts that make you rethink the way that you know the world around you, and then they kind of just go crazy from there. And you'll kind of see that in a lot of his works. This is definitely one story I have to recommend, especially since they made an anime adaptation of it, though the gender roles were definitely switched. But definitely check out Guile when you have the chance. Number 4. Hellstar Remina. This one is oftentimes kind of brushed off and not necessarily looked at quite often. This is easily one that can be this is easily a story that can be brushed over or just put to the side, but until you actually get into the logistics and the psychology of it, it is by far a story that I can't help but come back to time and time over and over. The story begins with a scientist who ends up discovering an entirely new planet, and he names it after his daughter, Remina. It slowly starts making its way to our planet, and as it's slowly coming closer and closer, it is impending doom. Because at this point, not only do people love this planet, this new thing that was recently discovered, it's also put the girl, Remina, on a metaphorical pedestal. She's a star. She is now well known around the world as a celebrity. Because of this, that just makes her a bad target when something bad happens to the planet. So, There's this crazy cult that gets involved. There's overly obsessive fanboys that love her to death to the point they're willing to kill each other. Even this actually sounds a lot like
I'm so sorry. 나 이제 결심했지. Are you ready? 꽤나 길었지 나의 방황이. 이제 걱정하지 마. 다신 가지 않을 테니. 부를 때마다 난 없었지. Silence. 걱정마도 착했으니 Show me dance.
주변에 들자 이제 내 손 잡아. 오늘부터 내가 너 절대로 놓지 않아. 두려움은 없어. 목소리 필요 없어. Let's go up up. 우리 둘만의 love. 두려움은 없어. 목소리 필요 없어. Let's go up up. 우리 둘만의 love.
Never gonna let you go. 다시 너를 떠나지 않아. 걱정하지 마, baby, you are my mine. Never gonna make you cry. 다시 울리지 않아. 걱정하지 마, baby, you're mine, baby, you're mine.
많이 고민했던 만큼 이제 확실해. All in 날 모든 것을 배팅해. 결심해. 지금부터 영원까지 I'm yours, you're mine. 우리 맹세 해볼까? Let's try it. 마음에 계약을 해. Let's sign it. Get the ink, get the pen. 나를 망설임이 없어 이제. 시작됐어 둘만의 romance. 넌 준비됐어 난 준비됐어. 두려움은 없어. 목소리 필요 없어. Let's go up up. 우리 둘만의 love. 시작됐어 둘만의 romance. 넌 준비됐어 난 준비됐어. 두려움은 없어. 목소리 필요 없어. Let's go up up. 우리 둘만의 love.
Never gonna let you go. 다시 너를 떠나지 않아. 걱정하지 마, baby, you are my Never gonna make you cry. 다시 울리지 않아. 걱정하지 마, baby, you're mine, baby, you're mine. 매일 밤을 안쓰러웠어. 아직 내가 널 지켜줄 자신이 없어. 하지만 시간이 갈수록 분명히 넌 선명히 계속 떠오르잖아. 날 보던 네 눈빛이. Baby, you belong to me. Never gonna let you go. 다시 너를 떠나지 않아. 걱정하지 마, baby, you are my Never gonna make you cry. 다시 울리지 않아. 걱정하지 마, baby, you're mine, baby, you're mine.
Suichi is this little shit, an abomination spawned from hell. It starts off with this one innocent family. So just imagine you going to visit your relatives on the other side of the country in the summer. Everything's just fine, you know? Then you meet your younger cousin, Suichi. This kid has hobbies that include him strapping candles to his forehead, sucking on rusty nails, and making voodoo dolls of the people he knows, just so he can fuck with them. So, Suichi is a spoiled little brat who, if he doesn't get his way, he will use the powers of dark arts to his favor. In which the teacher in Suichi's school tries to private tutor him, ends up getting him so sucked out and being put into a mannequin of the actual teacher. Suichi does get his just desserts from time to time. There are times where he likes to exaggerate and compensate for his lack of dark arts. But then there are times he'll take you by surprise on what he can really do. Number one, I'm sorry, but again, I'm not really sorry at all. My number one pick has to go to his most notable work of all time, and it's probably one of the few works that's actually been published here in the States, is Uzumaki. Uzumaki is a 3-volume manga, which you can actually buy the omnibus version here in the States nowadays, so all 3 volumes into one. This one had to have been, by far, a lot of twists and turns. I can't even tell you. I guess the best way I can describe it is, Uzumaki translates to vortex or spiral. And with that in mind, all the chapters throughout the entire series series centered around the spiral as an omen. Whenever there's a spiral involved in the storyline, that is a sign of bad things that are sure to happen. Now, I actually want to make a full video of me going into detail all the chapters or my top 5 stories from this one, and I'll do that another time. For now, I just want to give a basic analysis of what to expect in Uzumaki. We have a whole chapter devoted to people turning into snails, a chapter where people are obsessed with a particular lighthouse and its race could easily kill you. The umbilical cord. I'm not even going near that. Just the idea of a chapter involving umbilical cords and infants. That is probably one of the sickest things I've ever read out of Junji by far. Interesting to see how this story actually wraps up and goes, in what directions it goes in. This story easily made me question my take on the pattern itself, and his attention to detail again really just stands out the most.